And
Rita?
he took it with him to Florida, even though he knew it would be too hot there in Florida.
And I kept it close. It's always close.
Just like this shirt isn't going anywhere.
Okay. Because someone tried to steal it from me to give it to one of their friends, and I said no. It's with me everywhere I go.
Well, as much as I'd love to be able to give it to you, it's one of my best shirts, so it's not going anywhere.
You got it fair and square.
No, seriously. When I saw you tonight, I was like, how can I say that? That must be it. And I saw the bleach stain. I was like, that's it.
So he knows how bad it is.
He's been looking for it obsessively for the last 9 months.
I was going to open some boxes this morning. I've been searching for it.
Okay, Rachel?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You know that I'm a decent person, right?
Yes.
And you know that I love your husband,
Yes.
right? Do you think I should give it back?
Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you.
Never.
Oh, Rachel, I love you.
Phone number for the camera. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. Okay, so this interview is for a bio-basis class in Florida, and the students are now learning about anterograde and retrograde amnesia and some other memory disorders that people have. It's taught by a wonderful, amazing professor. You would love her. She's really fun. So I'm just going to ask you some questions. They were talking about this historic patient. He's called Patient HM. And he had, I think, an accident, and it damaged the hippocampus. And as they were talking about him, I was like, that's my sister. That's her. So it's very rare that people get to talk to somebody that has both anterograde and retrograde amnesia, which means you have a hard time remembering things in the past, and you also have a hard time making new memories. So, so what causes your amnesia?
From what I understand, it's swelling in the brain. They say it's caused by my seizures, but I don't know if it's caused by my seizures or caused by what started my seizures, because they just started.
Okay.
For no good reason.
And at any time in this interview, if you feel like you don't want to answer a question, just say you don't want to answer it.
Okay.
And
if my voice gets Chachik, my voice gets hoarse, it's this thing going off. It's not, I'm not getting emotional.
Okay. Oh, one thing I was curious about, do you remember our trip to Arizona a couple of weeks ago?
I was just told about it, and I did not remember. No.
Do you remember anything now after Mom told you about it?
It does spark some things. Sometimes when that happens, I wonder that the sparks are reaching. If my brain's kind of making it up for myself. But I think I can see Erica giggling like Erica does, and she was with me. And I'm assuming we flew And so she would have been the one to fly with me.
Okay.
And I can I can feel her on the plane. That I know that's silly, but I can't actually remember it. And one thing that's flashing, I often can't get memories, but I can see pictures. And I get pictures of Dad being really old.
Okay.
Which I know that he is, but you know, he's looking pretty old. And I again, I'm not getting emotional. This piece of wire goes right by my vocal cords. And it I'm and I remember that when I saw you, I found out again that you moved away, like away. You're in Florida. I didn't remember that. And those are, it's upsetting because those are real things. Those are big things. It seems like.
Do you remember anything else about the weekend that we did?
Because I don't quite remember that it really happened. I do feel flying on a plane with Erica. And I remember big hugs from you. And Dad, I guess. I don't remember seeing Linda. No, and I can't see his house. No, sorry.
Okay, no, it's fine. Who do you live with now?
My mother, and Jama's outside in the big house.
Okay. Who did you live with in the last house you lived in?
My mother. Our mother, yeah.
Who lived next door?
Carol and Mick. Yeah.
Do you remember anything about those houses?
They bought them. Yeah, I have my long-term memory. I remember the house that we lived in was a 2-story house, about 100 years old. We lived upstairs at one point in the apartment. It had been renovated into an apartment and a downstairs house. And yeah, I remember that house. And I know that Carol and Mick lived next door. It was small. And I remember at a neighbor's house that we went by. I don't really remember much of inside of it. Okay. But it couldn't have been much.
Where do Carol and Mick live now?
Uncle Mick died. And then Carol just got married. But I know that only because I just found out in the last couple days. I do know her husband, but I had to kind of check notes to see their wedding. I don't see it. t-shirt.
Where did you get your shirt?
I just found out. Oh, I just found out because Kervin told me it was his.
Oh.
Right? Didn't we just argue on the phone about bummer? Sorry about his feelings, but this shirt is mine. I'll fight him for it.
I got your back. I'll make sure you keep it.
Thank you. Thank you. That's okay.
What did you eat for dinner today?
Kielbasa and rice and grapes.
Together?
Not all together.
Okay.
Just, this was the way we do dinner is each one of us does dinner one night a week, and then we all share, and then it's a clean out the refrigerator sort of night, and that was tonight. So I went through the refrigerator, and that's what was left for our little family.
Did you make dinner tonight?
What's that?
Did you make dinner tonight?
Well, I heated that stuff up, but I didn't make anything. No, that was, the rice was from a couple days ago, and you know. I still can't, I have to put my dry erase boards up. I was just going to tell you how to talk to that person who also has it, but that person was hundreds of years ago. Is that what it was?
Very good. Yeah. 16 or 1900.
So, yeah. So dry erase boards weren't a good idea back then. Well,
they would have been a great idea because someone would have been rich.
Yeah. That's when they drew on blood with on the walls with blood, right? Yeah. Dry erase boards are my memory.
Do you remember anything else?
Well, I remember you keep using terms that that stump me. Retrograde amnesia. I don't have amnesia. I do, but it doesn't seem the same as that would be. I feel like it's I call it midterm memory loss. And just because short-term and long-term memory are fine and dandy. And I can't remember my daughter after her. I can't see her as a teenager, not even close, not a little bit. And it's just wrong. But I also know that things can be so much worse that I don't have the right to complain. I have my family. Our mother is taking care of me. She's an amazing person. And I know that if I didn't have connections in my life, a way to keep everything going okay, I would have died under a bridge long ago. I wouldn't have been able to get very far. And I can identify that it can be that for other people are going through worse, and so I am not going to complain in public.
Yeah. Speaking of public, do you like to read books or watch movies?
I love to read books. I like to watch movies too. I can't read books anymore. I can't remember how the book started. Um, it's wrong. And movies even can be hard. I usually don't watch. There's something that I discovered. Oh, I do puzzle books now. I
Okay.
used to read all the time. Now I do puzzle books because I can. I can think. I can be smart. I just can't remember how the book started.
And what do you like about puzzle books?
To 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 utilize my brain. I like to see that I still have things, you know. And it's a good. It exercises my brain. You know, the same as I like to. Well, I like to read books better, but you know, I like feeling the pen in my hand as I write and answer things. You know, I still have that. You know, and I can go back and look and see that I answered the puzzle. You know, well, not go back. I don't look at the answers, but I like to go back through the books and see, you know, that I still got things.
Can I make a confession?
You usually do. Yes.
For your birthday and Christmas, a lot of times I'll buy you the last year's puzzle books because they're really cheap.
Is that you? Those boxes?
Mom too. We both use this.
You know what? I love those. Who cares if they're on time? The ones on time, Rachel, cost $6 or $7 a piece. Do you know how much that ends up costing a year?
These are like a quarter each.
Brilliant of you.
And you love it every single time.
To find that out, it was brilliant. Yes, thank you. And getting the new book out, Rachel, it feels so good. Opening the pages, it's all clear and
I'm not
empty.
as bad as I could be. I have thought about buying you disappearing ink and then just reading the same book over and over again, but I have my boundaries.
The problem is that I might do that. Sometimes as I'm doing a puzzle, it'll feel like one. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, like the end of the season type of thing, they'll do a best of and that I've already done it, you know. But I figure if I don't really remember it, then I can do it again. So, you know, a puzzle book and gel ink is like the best. If I can't read, then that's perfect right there.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
Trip down memory lane. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you left me at the end of memory lane, you know. I tripped in the gutter long ago. Rachel, have fun with what you're doing, or
Thank you.
know, I don't want to say good luck, but you know, I hope that it means something. If I'm going to have this go wrong, I want, you know, I love the doctors telling me that they have some other doctor from far away coming to meet me because I want them to learn too.
Yeah.
Just because I would like to learn from me if I was not me. Actually, I'm sure I do. I just don't remember that I did. Well, give your class or your teacher, whoever, a hello, and give your husband a hug and all. It was good to talk to you, even if it was all about work. Now, memory lane, that's, you know.
Yeah. All right. Love you. Thanks.
I love you too. Bye,
Bye,
Rachel.
Mom.
Rachel says bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye,
Katie
Katie.
says bye.
Bye, Katie Coo.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I don't know how to turn you off. I'll just turn you off.